Hello, good morning ladies and gentlemen. It is currently 8:13 a.m. on Monday the 14th of March, and this is my forecast for the Monday ahead. So as you can see guys, from my last evening forecast, if you did watch it, I think we were around here somewhere, and I did tell you guys that hey, if we actually break the low, come back to level, I will be looking to get involved. But again, we didn't really get the opportunity. You can see we started to push down with momentum, but again, what happened after the impulse, right? You can clearly see we start to slow down here. We stagnated here, completely fine, but again, this candle gave me a little bit of a warning sign to be careful. Then as you can see, we broke the low, retraced. Okay, so what am I looking at now? One of the things is I can see that we have tapped into this lower level of liquidity. Okay, so you can see that we've got lower level of liquidity right there. So again, I want to wait and see how market is reacting. I'm just going to mark this up. So again, if we actually from here start to push up, pull back to this level, I will be looking to get involved in a nice reversal setup. Okay, well, why is that? Well, as you can see, like I just said, we have been tapping into this lower level of liquidity in a descending manner. We start taking that, we're starting to push up, and we're going to be on the first pullback of the trend. Okay, very high probability. Now again, we may not get that. We might just get this kind of V setup. We might see a range and then move in the direction of the second leg. Okay, now again, if we do that, then I will be looking for setups. Okay, for example, if we get the range, move up, come back to this level, I will be looking for a situation like this. Okay, or I will be looking for a nice kind of flag. Okay, if we have a little range, push up, impulse up, show that commitment, get involved in a nice continuation flag, very nice, very high probability. Okay, something like that will be very nice. Okay, so again, my eyes are open on this pair. As you can see, we have come down in a very descending manner. We've tapped into this lower level, so I want to see how market reacts. Now again, market may not react like that. We could just be retracing here, form a large wick, and just impulse down. If we impulse down, more than happy to look to get involved in a nice continuation flag. We're seeing that commitment, we're knowing where the momentum lies, so I will be looking to get involved. And a scenario like this wouldn't be too surprising, seeing as we have started to gather momentum. We can see momentum here, momentum here. We saw a little bit of momentum here, we saw momentum up here. So again, we are seeing that. And again, if we do that, then I will be looking to get involved in this kind of setup. Now again, if we actually do break this low, okay, with momentum, pull back to this level, I will be looking to get involved in that setup too. Okay, now why is that? Well, as you can see, we are still on the downtrend. Like I said, we got the momentum down. The momentum is still heavy on the downside. So again, I want to see what happens next. I want to see how we are breaking this low and this high. Okay, over here. Sorry, a terrible drawing over here. Okay, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so again, eyes wide open for me on Aussie US dollar. You can see market is starting to move, especially in London session morning. London session open. So let's see what happens next. Okay, next pair is Aussie Japanese yen. As you can see overnight, I did show you guys that there are these areas of liquidity, this above and below. We've tapped into this. So again, I want to see how market reacts. Okay, now again, for me, if I'm reading this chart, you can see that for me we have had levels, areas of liquidity up here. Okay, now again, why is that? You can see even in this kind of scenario, okay, even with this impulse down, where do you think retail traders or traders trading these kind of like double top strategies are going to be putting their orders, right? They're going to see that, okay, hey, we've got a double top here at some level of resistance or support or whatever you want to call it. Okay, we've seen the impulse down, time to start putting in sell orders. Where's the stops going to be? It's going to be up here. So again, there's a ton of liquidity sitting up here, right? And again, same to the downside, right? Same even here. Where's the liquidity? Liquidity will be lying here, okay? So again, what's happened after that? You can see we've come up in an ascending manner, okay? Now again, even with that we tapped into this area of liquidity, we didn't really get the market reaction we wanted. We actually started to stagnate for quite a bit of, I think it's the Friday, right? Yeah, so the Friday we started to stagnate. Again, telling me that the bias is slightly to the upside. So I would not be surprised if from here we tapped into this level and start to push up and break this higher. Okay, now again, if we do that, I will be sitting and waiting, seeing what happens. We are pretty range bound. Okay, so again, I will wait for that to happen. But again, that is a major high. So I am looking at this, how that's broken, but also in terms of the most recent high, you can see we've broken this low. Okay, retrace. So again, if we actually break this high with momentum, pull at level, I'll be looking for a trade like that. I do not see why not. Yes, we are a little bit range bound, but again, like I say, we're not seeing, even from this hitting these pools of liquidity at the top, we're not seeing the market makers want to take price down. So again, for me personally, I will be looking to get involved, all depending on how we actually break this high. Okay, But again, like I say, if we actually do start to see that momentum, for me, it's more likely we'll break this. But again, we may not get that. We might just break this high, okay, and retrace. Now, if we do that and come up in this ascending manner, okay, I will be sitting on my hands, being patient and seeing what happens next. If from there we start to impulse down, I'm more than happy to look for a nice continuation flag, okay, very nice, very high probability. If we break the low, pull back to this level, I'm more than happy to look for a nice reversal setup, okay. Very nice, very high probability again, okay? Now again, we might not do that. We might just actually run out of steam. We can actually just grab some liquidity sitting up here above the last high, the last lower high here, okay? Or even up here. So we could just tap into these regions and start to move down. If we start to move down, I'm more than happy to look for a nice continuation flag, okay? So again, I'm going to be waiting and seeing what happens next. The price is starting to move up. We have opened London. So again, I'm expecting to see that volatility in that candle there. So again, let's see what happens next. I'm actually personally going to just remove these two levels of liquidity. We've tapped into this liquidity. So again, let's see how market reacts, okay? Next pair is Euro US dollar. So as you can see, guys, we have been pushing down, okay? Like I did say in my last recap, okay? We have been grabbing areas of liquidity, pushing down, didn't gather enough steam, got more liquidity, got enough steam to push down. But again, what's happened here? If I'm going to double check the low, so low is 018, low here is 004. So again, we did break this low, okay? So we have broken this low. So again, what am I seeing now? Well, at this bottom here, you can see that we have broken this low, retrace, okay? Now again, we have, to me, that shows me that we have tapped into some little area of liquidity here, okay? Just somewhere around there. It's probably a little bit too small to have my dollar sign, but again, we have tapped into liquidity there and we are starting to push up, okay? But again, for me, this is really, I mean, I want to see a lot better price action for me to look to get involved in a nice reversal, okay? Something like this. And the reason being is because of how market has reacted, okay? I think we opened, so we opened here, we had the gap here, we pushed up, pull down, and again, this kind of flag, kind of action, sorry, not flag, these kind of candles here are telling me, hey, are we seeing that momentum? It's questioning if I am seeing that. And now I'm starting to see the push up. So if we do see that push up, I will be looking to get involved in like a reversal setup somewhere down here, okay? So again, I will be having my eyes open for that. Again, like I say, it all depends if I'm seeing momentum. If I'm seeing that momentum break, okay, we've got a high here, okay? And I want to see that nice push. I want to see a nice push before I even consider getting involved on this pair, okay? So again, that's what I'm looking at on the Euro US dollar. If we get that kind of break, pullback, I will be looking to get in that trade. If we start to impulse up and see that commitment, I know where the market makers want to take it. We want to take it up, so I will be looking to get involved in a nice continuation flag, okay? Now again, we may not get that. We could actually break this high over here and just retrace, okay? And what would that tell me? If we're breaking the highs, retracing, and we've broke the low before and retrace, it tells me we're more likely to be range bound. So again, what's that going to do? It's going to accumulate liquidity above and below the range, okay? So again, I will be sitting on my hands and being patient if we do get that kind of price action here and see how we actually exit the pools of liquidity above and below. So that is what I'm looking at on the Euro US dollar. Eyes wide open for me. And I'll see what happens next, okay? Now again, just a quick little reminder, it's not uncommon if we actually see this impulse down, we see this push down, and again, we might have areas of liquidity up here. Like I say, we have seen the price is wanting to push down. You can see from these liquidity grabs, we want to push down. It's not, wouldn't be surprised if we actually tap into this area and start to push down, okay? Now again, what will that show me? What did I see on this pair? Like we see this push down, corrective nature, push down, corrective nature, we can see again, and a push down again. What are we seeing here? Can we see that? Yes, very clearly. You can see we've got the push down, corrective descending, push down, corrective descending, okay? Yes, we might have broken this high, but again, in a sense, we're descending, and then again, see that push down, okay? So like I say, this is what we see with this pair. So again, wouldn't be surprised if we see that, and if we do, like I say, I will be getting involved in a nice continuation flag to the downside. But again, if I see that weakness, okay, just in a sense like we're starting to see here, I will be looking for opportunities to go long, okay? So again, that is what I'm looking at on the Euro US dollar. So let's see what happens next. Next pair is the Euro Japanese yen. Now this pair is a funny pair, and I am liking how it's moving, okay? Why is that? Because again, we're breaking the major highs, retracing, breaking the major highs, retracing, breaking the major highs, retracing. We're running out of steam, and you can see what's happening most recently. We're trying to push up, okay? So again, personally, I would not be surprised, okay, if we actually tap into areas of liquidity up here, because it doesn't look like we've gathered enough steam to go down. Now in that scenario, if we come up here in this ascending manner, okay, and then break the low pullback to this level, I will be looking for a nice reversal setup. Or if we actually come up in that ascending manner, okay, and then we impulse down, I will be looking for a nice continuation flag, okay. Very nice, very high probability, okay. Now, as you can see, in terms of the most recent highs and lows, how they've been broken, we have pushed down. Again, we've broken this low, retraced, had a gap as we open, and we're starting to push up. We've broken this high over here, formed a wick, retraced, broken this high, starting to see commitment here. But again, in terms of actually getting involved in a kind of continuation setup, for me, this is not high probability. Why? Well, essentially, we're still within a range and it's not high probability on this pair. We're very close to this. In a sense, we've kind of gone, for me, in a descending to an ascending. So again, I'm not looking for a continuation like that. I'm waiting to see price action actually enter these areas at the top, or how we actually break the low and come down, okay. But like I say, we are coming up in this ascending manner, ascending nature. So again, wouldn't be surprised if we get this kind of smaller kind of price action and a move down, okay. So again, let's see what happens on the Euro Japanese yen. You can see we have started to push up from Asia session into London session. So again, let's see what happens next, okay. I'll actually delete this area. Next pair is the pound, okay. So as you can see, guys, no trades here. Like I said on my forecast last night, I'm looking for momentum, okay. So I think we were around here, around this location. We've pulled up, pushed down again, okay. Saw some weakness here, we started to push up. Again, not really involved in taking a continuation. I don't know if anyone was involved in looking at a continuation here. Pull down like a nice combo here. Again, I'm not looking at that because again, what is price action telling me? Look how we're actually coming down. We're coming down in a descending manner, okay? We're seeing that weakness. So again, what do I always say with the pound? Well, I'm looking for momentum. If we start to push up, more than happy to look for a nice continuation flag to the upside, okay? Same to the downside, impulse down, more than happy to look for a nice continuation flag to the downside, okay? I did say, I think I did mention with this pair on my last forecast that I was anticipating a move down, okay? So, and why is that? Because again, look how price is acting. We're taking liquidity out, we're pushing down, okay? Same here, we're seeing that momentum down, breaking through all these stops. You can see that where our traders going to be keeping their stops in this price section here, right? They can see, okay, we've come down, we've got lower lows here, and now we start to move up, okay? We've got higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher highs up here. Where they're going to put their stops? Down here, right? Now again, what's going to happen as we come into this area of liquidity in a descending manner? We're expecting that push up, right? But again, we didn't see that. We actually pushed up and came straight back down. So for me, again, the bias is still on the downside, right? So for me, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually tap into liquidity up here, above this level here, and start to push down, something like that, okay? Not as ugly as the drawing, but essentially tap into some liquidity up here and start to push down, see that momentum down, okay? If we do that, like I said, we'll be looking for a flag, or if we don't get the opportunity, I will be looking for a nice continuation like this, okay? So again, waiting for more price action. Again, if we don't get that and we just start to range about, it shows uncertainty in the market, and again, we will be gathering liquidity above and below the range. In that scenario, I will be waiting for price action to show commitment, okay? So that's what I'm looking at in the pound. Next pair is the New Zealand Japanese yen. So guys, as I spoke about on the pair last night, so you can see what's happened. We entered this area of liquidity at the top, right? How have we entered it? Well, again, we've entered it correctively. But again, the thing is that we didn't react. We didn't really show that commitment down. Yes, I did mention that I would have been involved in this setup here, okay? But again, for me, I wasn't too convinced by this break, this push and then this break, okay? Because we did break the low, retrace, break the low, retrace. Again, I was very cautious. I would have been happy to enter at market open. But again, like I say, I was very, very cautious because of liquidity, how we entered the liquidity. And again, my bias is still to the upside, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you can see that again, we've broken the low, retraced here, broken the low, retraced, broken the low, retraced, broken the high, retrace, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if we continue this move up, okay? We're not seeing that evidence come yet. We're not seeing any liquidity being taken or price actually saying, hey, okay, I'm ready to go down. Now, again, we might not get that. You can see in a sense we have been running out of steam already, and we could just start to see that move down. If we see that move down, I will be looking to see if we start to come down in a descending nature. If we do that, I'll be sitting on my hands being patient and looking to get involved in a nice reversal setup, okay? For me currently, I only trade reversals on this pair. However, if we actually do come up in this ascending manner, okay, and break the low pullback to this level, I will be looking in for that reversal setup. Okay, very nice, very high probability. Currently, to me, this is very range bound. We are starting to accumulate liquidity below and above. So again, I want to see how we actually enter these areas and what happens next. Okay, now again, we could, like I say, because the bias is still to the upside, I also wouldn't be surprised if we actually come down, collect some liquidity down here, break, pull back to civil. I'll be looking for a setup like that. Okay, very nice, very high probability. So again, I want to see what price action is telling me. Okay, currently it's pretty range bound, so we could just anticipate more of this range till market makers know where they want to take where they want to take price. But again, like I say, I'm going to be a lot more patient on this bed till I get a lot better price action than this ranging action here. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for on the market ahead today. I'll speak to you guys tomorrow, and I hope you all have a fantastic trading day.